And Rob, you mentioned that a campaign that was initially done at Visa in Spain was a sort of inspiration. Yeah. And so I'm interested, as a global brand, how you work with so many local markets, and what's the consultation process like? Do you speak to every local market where there's a Visa campaign to see if they sort of get behind the idea? What's the process like internally? Because it's quite important that it resonates locally as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of. It's probably one of the biggest challenges, like working in a big matrix global organisation. When you're trying to run a multi-market campaign, is that alignment with all the different teams that are impacted? All right, so while they might not be funding it, while they might not be involved in the day-to-day running of the campaign, obviously it's landing in their market and with their consumer base, right? So you need to bring them along on the journey, first of all, of like, this is what we're going to do. Take their input. Their input is super important because they know their market better than we will. Yeah. So adding kind of any local market nuance, some other cultural insight that we might have missed was super, super important. So lots of calls, lots of like status meetings, check-ins, lots of emails back and forth, lots of presentations internally that we're having to do. So like actually have just presentations of it coming out my ears and like, so yeah, it's a lot. And then that's just like the markets that are impacted, and then you've got like our bosses and our stakeholders and higher ups. You know, you want to make sure that they are aware of what's going on because it was a big investment, and they're bought into it. And then getting the whole organisation behind it as well, like watch the games, interact with the fans, and get this going, tell your friends about it and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a lot.
It's a huge internal job before you even press start on the campaign.
And the interesting thing about this one as well is it's one of those ones that came around fairly late. Like we'd been having some conversations with DAZN, who was the broadcast partner, and you know, they had this idea, they kind of had the genesis of an idea, we could do this thing around a fan zone, and then we took it, run with it with the insight, and then shape the whole campaign around that. And so that came like Christmas, and then we were live in market March, weren't we? So it's like one of those ones where you just drop everything. Rob, you're doing this now, and it's like, right, off you go. Everything else has to wait for a little bit more. Yeah.
Amazing.
And I was going to pick up on that. It's just a very brave concept to do as well, right? Something that's, you know, no one else has kind of stepped above the parapet to kind of get rid of this hate, and it's brave. And you and yourselves as a brand must have received some haters, and it's just nice to know that you were backed by the agency, who probably had some mad ideas to go alongside it, and those cultural nuances in certain countries. Obviously, it's difficult to turn that because they're changing someone's perceptions. It's extremely hard, you know.
Yeah.
How brave did you guys feel when you were doing this, and was that quite a big step?
I don't think we felt that brave. I don't know personally. We knew it was something that needed tackling, and it mattered to the fans. So Visa's been in the women's football space for years. We were the first to partner with UEFA and split the UEFA Champions League away from the men's, so it became a standalone property. And so we've been involved in the women's game for a long time. Karen Carney, before she got really famous on Strictly, or more famous, let's say, on Strictly, was a football consultant for us. And so we kind of had our ear to the ground on women's football. And so we knew what people were thinking and feeling around it. So we didn't feel brave to go into that space because A, we'd been around for a long time in it, so we had kind of a right to be there. And B, we were talking about something that really mattered and resonated to the fans. So like, actually, in terms of like any backlash on the brand, I can't remember actually a single thing that we got directly. Like the women footballers did, yeah, sure, but we didn't get it directly. And at the time, like, rewind your mind back, in the UK, it was a really prevalent kind of topic of conversation as well, because Joey Barton had just mouthed off on socials about Eni Aluko, and had been an idiot. And so it just felt like that wasn't by design or anything. It was like the right time as well to kind of speak out about these things. Like the tide had turned. Do you know what I mean? Like people were, the wave of positivity around women's football was there. So it was just like, it's actually just building on the momentum of it. Yeah.
And I think for brands, don't they generally say that women's football is just a more brand safe environment to be in?
It's more. It's more.
Is that controversial?
We are a partner with FIFA. Yes, World Cup is coming up. This is
It's quite a challenge. Shall I ask you differently?
But women's football is culturally, it's different. You go to a women's game and it's less adversarial. Like, you want your team to win and do well more than you want the other team to lose. In men's football, it's like if the other team are losing, you give it to them a bit more, and you just get that less in the women's game. And it's like, I think it's a lot how the players conduct themselves as well. The players conduct themselves so caring about the fans. They invest so much time with them after games. Like, they're really relatable characters. They're all wanting to develop the game themselves. So it's like, actually, the players have a lot of credit, well, most of the credit for how the game's advancing.
Yeah.
Sure.